Good afternoon. This is the short story about Tony Luther. And the superhero quote is, "All the best heroes are ordinary people who make themselves extraordinary," by Joe Maroney, James McAvoy, and Colin. Tony Luther is 16 and lives on Cedar Grove Street. Tony goes to Cass Technical High School. When he is out of school, he is working at Stacy's Grill House. His hobbies are reading books and bowling. He was born in Taylorsville, New Jersey. Tony is 175 pounds and is 6'2". He loves to help others and be a role model for others. His dad always taught him to be nice to all and always be a man and always have integrity. One day Tony was in at school. He was working on a lab in science, and then a group of villains came storming into the high school and threatened many students. Tony stood there in fear as the villains threatened the students, including him. Tony tried to help, but he was too weak. As he saw his fellow peers being taken by the villains, he was devastated that he could not help.
Tony was at school in the lab working on some extra credit before the trimester ended. He was mixing several chemicals together to try to create a compound. Tony realized he put in some wrong chemicals in his compound and it exploded all over his face. It burned him really bad. He was in the hospital for several days. When he woke up, he felt like he had been reborn. He never felt better in his life. When he came out of the hospital, he was walking in the street, and this group of bullies come up to him and started punching him. He reacted by turning invisible and did not even know how he did it. He realized that he was invisible. The bullies were confused where he went. He punched the bullies when they could not see him. After he took care of the other bullies, he walked away. He thought that he might have other superpowers. When he went home, he started to see what powers he had. He tried to pick up a dresser and he hurt himself. He tried to fly, but he fell flat on his face. He felt discouraged, but he tried one more power, super speed. He went to the track and was trying to run a 100-meter dash. He did it in less than 0.8 seconds.
When he came home, he started to make a costume for himself. He was going to call himself Invice. Invice's suit was made out of vibranium, and the suit turned invisible when he did. Even though Invice had super speed, he put a button on his suit that was listed as turbo. He made the suit into a chain that he wore around his neck. When he pressed a button on the chain, it turned into a suit. One day, he looked out the window and he saw his arch nemesis, Spark, who was spray painting words on a bank and stealing money from people who walked by him. Tony turned into a suit, and when Spark saw Invice, he started to run from the bank. He got chased down by Invice and was startled. He stopped and threw a punch. Invice dodged his punch and threw a nasty hook at his face and got him on the ground. Then Invice picked up Spark and threw him on a wall, and Spark pulled out his sword and slashed Invice right across his stomach. Since Invice has super speed, he also has super healing. He super heals and he is back in the fight. He hits Spark across the face with the palm of his hand. Spark hits the ground with a loud thud. He brings him to the police. When Spark wakes up from getting hit, he says that he will get out and find Invice, even if it's the last thing he will do. Invice goes home to be proud to be a hero. He says that he will protect Detroit forever. We would like to dedicate this story to the victims of the Las Vegas shooting. We want to pray for all the families that were affected by this act of violence.
Also, we would like to dedicate this to the kids that were recently shot in North Philadelphia.